Emotional intelligence is useless without this. You can read every leadership book, score high on every EQ assessment, be the calmest person in the room, but still keep repeating the same patterns in your relationships, your career, and your life. Because emotional intelligence teaches you how to manage emotions. It doesn't teach you why you keep generating the same ones. 2,000 years ago, carved above the most sacred temple in Greece were two words: know thyself. Not manage thyself, not optimize thyself, know thyself. We mastered emotional intelligence, but we skipped that step. That's why so many high performers are quietly stuck. I thought I was self aware. I was top 10 in the national sales, the kind of success that makes most people ask, what's your formula? I could read the room, navigate any personality, manage my emotions, and everything collapsed. My marriage ended. My father died. My career stalled. And then the doctors called with a life threatening illness. I remember sitting in my living room staring at nothing, thinking, if I'm so emotionally intelligent, why does my life feel like it belongs to someone else? All the skills were there, but underneath the performance, I didn't actually know who I was. And I knew how to win, I knew how to adapt, I knew how to regulate, but I did not know myself. And that's when everything changed. I'm Dr. Amirah Hall. I've spent over 2 decades helping high performers, professionals identify and break the hidden patterns blocking their success. And here's what I learned: the smarter you are emotionally, the better you can become at defending your blind spots. Research published in the Journal of Personality shows that individuals who score high on emotional intelligence often still have significant blind spots about their own motivations and behavioral patterns. And they can read others beautifully. But when it comes to seeing the unconscious driver shaping their own decisions, they struggle. Emotional intelligence is like having excellent driving skills, but hidden patterns are the GPS programmed years ago, often in your childhood. So you can steer perfectly and still end up somewhere that you never consciously chose. And that's why the Greeks carved know thyself in Delphi. Before you can master your life, you have to know who's doing the mastering. And let me show you 3 hidden patterns emotional intelligence alone cannot fix. Pattern number 1, the performer. If you've ever thought, I can handle any room, this might be you. The performer looks emotionally intelligent. They read the room, they adapt instantly and say exactly what needs to be said. But underneath, well, you've become so skilled at performing that you've lost access to who you actually are. I worked with Vanessa. She's a chief marketing officer, brilliant, politically sharp, high EQ. But when I asked her what she wanted next in her life, she froze. Every decision she made was based on what would work, what would land well, what would keep her safe. And so we traced it all the way back to where she was 11 years old and her parents were divorcing. And she learned the safest way to survive was to become whatever each parent needed her to be. She'd been a shapeshifter for 40 years. Emotional intelligence made her exceptional. Self-knowledge showed her to never actually choose her own life. And after we cleared that pattern, she left her executive role, not impulsively, but consciously. For the first time, she wasn't reacting. She was choosing. Emotional intelligence can make you impressive. Self-knowledge makes you free. Pattern 2, the fixer. If people constantly come to you for advice, but you rarely ask for help, this might be you. The fixer hides behind empathy. You're the strong one, the steady one, the reliable one. But fixing others can become strategy to avoid facing yourself. I worked with executive coach Jerome, 15 years transforming leaders, but his own business had stalled. His marriage was strained and his health was declining. And when I asked him when he last focused on himself, he laughed. I don't have time, he said. People need me. So we traced it all the way back to when he was 7. He had a depressed mother and he became her emotional caretaker. He learned that his value came from being needed. Decades later, he was still living that script. So emotional intelligence made him excellent at helping everybody else. Self-knowledge forced him to see what he'd been avoiding. And when he finally took time for himself, his business didn't collapse, it expanded because he was no longer operating from depletion. Pattern 3, the regulator. If you're proud of how calm you can be under pressure but privately feel disconnected, this might be you. The regulator looks emotionally masterful. You don't react, you don't spiral, you don't lose control. But sometimes regulation becomes suppression, wearing a sophisticated mask. I worked with a senior partner of a law firm, Grace, and she was unshakable in crisis, but privately she felt numb, disconnected from her kids, detached from her husband, unable to feel joy. And we traced it all the way back to when she was 14, when her father died. Her mother told her, "You need to be strong now, no more tears," until she became strong. And for 30 years, emotional intelligence taught her control. Self knowledge helped her grieve. And when she finally cried decades later, it wasn't weakness, it was relief. Most high achievers have at least one of these patterns running in the background: the performer, the fixer, the regulator. But here's the question most high performers avoid: who are you when you're not performing? When you're not helping, when you're not controlling? That's where the transformation begins. The moment you see a hidden pattern, it starts to lose its grip. And that's why know thyself actually means not optimizing, not fixing, seeing. I think back to that moment when I was in the living room. Everything's stripped away, titles gone, achievements meaningless, facing a question I had avoided my entire life: who am I without the performance? And that question terrified me, and it saved me. The emotional intelligence made me successful. Self-knowledge gave me my life back. Know thyself, not as philosophy, as survival, as freedom. Now I'm curious, which pattern hit you the hardest? The performer, the fixer, the regulator? Tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear what resonated with you. And don't forget to subscribe. I post a video every week on the hidden psychological patterns that keep successful people stuck, and how to break them. So, and if you want to go deeper, I created a free hidden pattern quiz, and it just takes less than 3 minutes. It'll reveal the specific invisible patterns that have been quietly shaping your decisions, often since your childhood. So most people are surprised by what they discover. Some get uncomfortable, and that's usually a sign that you found something important. So the link is in the description, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.